want a society of renters, do we?
No.
That's not the nation that we want. I don't care if it makes more sense economically. We should make owning make more sense economically. Because if you think about it, when you rent for your entire life, you don't actually think about the improvements, the repairs. It's somebody else's asset. And then it quickly becomes somebody else's city park. And then it quickly becomes somebody else's street. And then it's somebody else's city. And the next thing you know, you're living in San Francisco where people are just walking over drug addicts because it's all somebody else's problem. I think it does something. It's an unproven theory, but I think you can all agree with this. It's hard to measure, it's hard to show on macroeconomic charts. I think that when you rent too often and too much as a society, it does something really negative to the soul, and it creates a detachment. Like, when's the last time you washed a rental car? You don't.
Oh, that's right.
Somebody else will wash it for you. But if it's your car, you'll be up at 6 a.m. making sure every little piece is clean. Don't you drink that in my car. Has anyone ever objected? Don't drink that in a rental car. I mean, maybe if there's like a policy there, right? Instead, it's like, as Jerry Seinfeld would say, give me the rental car. I'm going to really make sure I run this thing to a couple walls. I don't care, it's not my car. And so you think about the implications that has for an entire society. It's very negative. Here are the facts. This generation is the least likely to own homes that we've ever had in American history. The average first-time home buyer went from 28 years old 10 years ago, it's now 38 years old. There are now more baby boomers than Gen Zers and millennials buying property. That's a problem. What I'm getting at is that if we want this conservative movement to continue, if we want this momentum that we've seized, and we want to stop what I call the big M's, I'm going to talk about that, then we'll do a couple of quick questions. We want to stop Mamdaniism, Mohammedanism, what is the life force behind Mamdani? It's got a bunch of people that don't own anything. When you own nothing, you will entertain really dumb ideas because you're desperate. You feel as if you're not having any stake in the game. So, and I think Ohio is a perfect example of this because you guys have long led the country in the highest per capita home ownership, the middle class. I mean, really strong Ohioan values. It's like, this is my land, this is my property, strong middle class, a robust ethic of passing down wealth from one family to the other. From one generation to the other. I don't think we should lose that. And I think we should reject and understand the implications of what leads next. So let me go through the 3 M's and then we'll do 1 or 2 quick questions. The 3 M's that are in front of us. One of which I think most people in this audience understand, but it's worthy of repeating, and they're kind of all tied together. The first of which is Mamdaniism. Everybody, we are on the precipice of America's largest city, and once greatest city, has been for quite some time, of having a Marxist, Islamist mayor.
Oh, yes. New York.
What drives that? I think economics drives that, but also, let's be honest, mass immigration also drives that. When you keep on importing a third world population, don't be shocked when you get a third world mayor. People call me all the time racist when I say stuff like this, but when you import the third world, you get the third world.
Right.
And repeat this and commit it to memory. Immigration without assimilation is an invasion.
That's right.
Immigration without assimilation is an invasion. There are so many stories of a wonderful man from Nepal or Vivek, of families that have come here and they've given their all for this nation. They assimilate. They learn the language. They're willing to serve. They understand that they are a first-time visitor, soon to be resident of this nation. We used to have expectations for our immigrants. We used to expect something out of people that came here. We used to have a high bar. Now we're like, hey, just be who you are. You don't have to assimilate. You have to learn the language. Everybody, if you're not going to do the introductory step of learning the language, then you're showing us that you're not serious about being here and you don't have respect for what we've built, or respect for the nation that our ancestors built, or the generations prior to us. So what Mamdani represents, and I will get into the Islamist part in a second, is a foreign idea that is being put into America. I've said something controversial, and people don't like it when I say it, but it's true. I think you guys will appreciate it. Which is, nothing about Mamdani do I look at him and I say, that guy's an American. He might have paperwork that shows he's an American. But if you want to bring radical Marxist, foreign ideas into one of our greatest cities, we should have the courage to say that's an anti-American force on our soil. Nothing about it is consistent with the Constitution, with our Bill of Rights, freedom of speech. Every time he talks, it's negative about New York. It's negative about the country. We're racist, we're terrible, we're misogynist. It's so terrible to move back to Uganda, but you know it's actually good because you're saying one thing that you want to say. And being an American is more than just having your paperwork organized. The second piece, which Mamdani represents a little bit, but there's other examples that are better, which is the rise of Islam in America. I don't know if this is a big problem or not in Ohio. I have no idea, but I can tell you in other parts across the country that, by the way, look no further than Europe. People think I'm just fear-mongering. Has anyone been to Europe recently? It's an unrecognizable continent. When you import an Islamist ideology that definitionally will not assimilate, don't be shocked when those places start to look more and more like where they came from. And some people will, thank you, I got one person applauding me. She was our photographer, she's so sweet. She says, my name is Maha. I said, I'll never forget that because make America healthy again. Really nice to know. She said she speaks Arabic and she's from a Muslim family. It might not be a big problem in Ohio, but it very well can soon be. And I don't think any of us should rejoice the fact that New York is going to have a Muslim Marxist mayor, and it's not just New York. If you wanted to take over Western civilization, what were the first two cities you would conquer for symbolism? London and New York.
Yeah.
Both of which this December will likely have Muslim mayors. Both London and New York. Minneapolis, same thing. They're about to have a Muslim mayor by the name of Omar Fatah, who literally speaks Somali in his campaign rally saying, I'm here to bring Somalian values. I'm sorry, we're not here to bring Somalian values. If you want to adopt American values, we can have that conversation. But we are the greatest nation in the world. Period. The darkest of the three, which is Mangioniism. Who is Luigi Mangione? Is that one-off guy, the insurance executive in the bank? Everybody. What leads to Mamdaniism, which leads to Marxism, is this idea that you're this one-off, one lone wolf, that you could shoot an insurance executive in the back. Everybody. That is a cult following, by the way, in New York and around the country. Not a majority, but enough minority to get your attention. You look at that kind of one-off violence radicalism. We do not want to live in that nation. We don't want to live in that type of country where if you have any sort of success, any sort of material wealth, you have to walk around with armed guards and you can't leave the house after 8 p.m. Those kind of factors all together are growing. Do I think they're going to win? No. And I know they will not win if we're able to do a very simple thing. We can deliver the 3 M's. It's just not funny, all the M's on our side. The 3 M's. We need to make sure young people can get a mortgage very easily. I think we need a national apology campaign for our nation's young people and say, we screwed up. We never should have locked down this society. We never should have taken $8 trillion. We're going to make it easier if you own homes yourself. The same, we need a national kind of remedy plan. Because it's not right, because when you have an entire generation that owns nothing, they will go to Mamdaniism and Mangioniism because they don't see themselves getting wealthier. Number 2, we need to celebrate and make it easier for young people to get married. We need our marriage rates to go up in this country. We should celebrate younger people getting married younger. And then finally is mating. We have a fertility crisis in this country. We need to have more children.
Yes.
If you have grandchildren, tell them to have more children.
That's right.
Children are a blessing from the Lord. They're not an inconvenience. Have more children than you can afford. And children are infinitely more important in God's economy than pets.
That's right.
And we should not be able to say that. Human beings are made in the image of God, and people say, well, I can't afford it. I guarantee you there are people in this audience, you had a bunch of kids you couldn't afford at some time in your life. I guarantee it. That's right. I guarantee some of you guys here in this audience had kids that you couldn't afford and you're glad that you did. Yes. And I want that country back. I want that country where we value having children so importantly that it doesn't matter about your next trip to Bali or your excursion to Indonesia. Like that stuff doesn't matter. You know what matters? What matters is that you can own a home, get married, and have children. That's what the American dream is all about. The American dream is about stability, It is about intergenerational wealth building, and right now, the next generation, they look at the outside looking in on. Donald Trump and them supporting Trump and conservative values is an amazing sign. We have them going in the right direction. It can take a little bit of a disturbing pivot if we don't listen and address these underlying issues. If you look what the other side is selling, what they're selling is easy to make fun of, which is like more crime, open border. But at its core, there's a little bit of a whisper of something that should concern us. And that whisper is that they're going to say something very simple. Vote for me, I'll take from them, and I'll give to you. That is what's called the dark triad of politics. The Soviet Union was based on this. The Chinese Communist Party was based on this. It is very simple. Vote for me, I'll take from them, and I'll give to you. And how does that end up? Ends up in Venezuela, Argentina. We know that. But it might be too late if we do not say. Instead, when someone says, vote for me, I'll take from them, they'll say, no, I am the home, so you'll be taken from me. So go away, creepy politician. You see, once they feel invested in the system, it's a lot easier to resist the dark triangle of politics. And that way we can keep this generation the most conservative in American history. Let's take a couple questions, guys. Thank you.